Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, so how is it going today? Well, yeah, I hope you all doing a great day today. So, I'm going to introduce myself first. I am Mutia and I'm from Al-Qudwa Islamic Junior High School. Well, anyways, today I'm going to tell you one of my dream childhood favorite fairy tale that my mom always told it to me when I was little. So, that story called Hansel and Gretel. Well, yeah, just keep your eyes on watching and enjoy the story. Once upon a time, there lived a brother and sister named Hansel and Gretel. Their mother had passed away when they were babies, so they lived with their dad in a small hut in the forest. Their dad was trying to earn living their life by working as a woodcutter and also looking after the kids at the same time. A couple of years passed, struggling to juggle work and look after the kids at the same time. Their dad decided to get married again. The woodcutter's wife was from a wealthy family and she hated the fact that they lived for poor. Plus, she didn't like her stepchildren at all. One day, on a cold winter night, as they were getting ready for bed, Hansel and Gretel heard the stepmother was talking to their dad. How are you going to get through this winter? We don't have enough food. If you don't get rid of these kids, well, first after that, you better get cabins ready. Their dad opposed furiously. What? What are you saying? Are you insane? No way, they're my kids. I can't do that to them. It will never be heaven. Don't argue. I made up my mind. Tomorrow, we'll take them to the woods and leave them there. Snapped her, and she left him just like that. Hearing all that, Gretel started to cry. Hansel, he is all over with us. But Hansel, her brother, comforted her. Please don't be worried, Gretel. Somehow we'll find our way back home. So, later that night, he snuck out and collected many pebbles as much as he could in his pocket. And in the next morning, as they were walking towards the forest, he dropped all the pebbles that he put in his pocket from the night before. And in the afternoon, their parents told them to wait at the fireside until the moon was rising. And they said that they will be back soon. And they walked off and vanished in the woods. Of course, they didn't come back. When the night came, all of the horrible sounds of wild animals echoes around them. Hansel, are there wolves? I'm so scared, said Gretel with her trembling hands. Don't be worried, Gretel. Calm down. We'll be safe, okay? Said Hansel, comforted his sister. Shivering with the whole horrible sounds of wild animals, Hansel and Gretel wanted to start walking back home. So they followed the pebbles that shining on the moonlight and walked towards home. When the kids came back home, their dad was so happy and surprised at the same time. Their mother also acts like she's happy, but deep inside, her decision was still the same. After 3 days, she tried to get rid of them again. But this time, she locked the door so that Hansel can collect the pebbles like the night before. But Hansel was a clever boy, so this time he dropped all the breadcrumbs that he put in his pocket. And again, make a trail to way back home. Around noon, their parents make up an excuse and went off, leaving them all alone again in the forest. Realizing that their parents didn't come back, Hansel and Gretel wanted to start walking back home before it got dark. But this time, poor them, they couldn't find the trail they left because all the breadcrumbs had eaten by the birds. This time, the kids was very lost, with no food and scared to death. Gretel is about to cry, and Hansel also felt hopeless. In the next morning, they got a little bird chirped them a song with his beautiful voice. But sadly, it's just for a while, and the birds fly away to a funny-looking house that made from a gingerbread and something else sweet stuff. Hansel and Gretel can't believe their eyes. The house looks incredibly delicious. So they ran straight up to the house and take a bite from the house. But as they were nibbling the house, they heard an old woman's voice from the inside. Now, what did... Now, who's nibbling on my house? Said the old woman. When they told her all about what happened to them, she let them in because she felt very bad for them. But when Hansel and Gretel entered the house, they noticed that something strange with the house. It was different from the outside. The inside of the house was dark, scary, and it didn't feel right. But because they both were starving, so they couldn't care less with the house. And the old lady brought them all about kinds of food and dessert that they never had that before. And at that night, they slept on the softest bed that they ever seen. When they wake up in the morning, the old lady wasn't there. So they started to look around the house. And at the end of the corridor, they found a small door. And when they opened that door, they found a full case of gold and jewelry inside. They was very surprised, of course. Hansel wanted to get in and take a closer look. But at that time again, they heard a voice. Now, what do you think you're doing here, young boy? When they turned around, they saw a witch standing there in front of them. Apparently, the old lady was a witch who led them into her dungeon with house covered by the sweets. The kids wanted to start running away from the house, but poor them! All of the door of that house was locked by the witch. Finally, the witch got Hansel alive and put him in a small cage, and also was planning to eat him as soon as possible when he was fat enough. So the witch made Gretel make more food and forbid her to eat anything from the kitchen. Don't you dare to eat anything from the kitchen. All food is just for him, snapped the witch. But Hansel was a clever boy, so he made a plan. Before the witch started to eat him, he wouldn't eat anything that his sister made for him, so he wouldn't gain weight for that. One day, the witch would lose her temper, and she really got mad because Hansel didn't gain weight at all. So she said, "Fat skinny, I don't care anymore. Today I'm gonna make Hansel pie." So she turned into Gretel and said, "Look in the oven and see if the dog was big enough." Also, Gretel was in fear, but she's just a wise girl, just like her brother. So she said, "I can get my head in there and see the dove." So the witch pulled Gretel aside and stuck her head inside. Gretel gathered all her strength and pushed the witch into the oven and locked the oven door. Yeah, and that's the end of the witch. Finally, he ran straight up to the cage that locked her brother inside and freed him. And they ran away from the house before all of it got burned down. Yeah, the kids will survive, but they had no idea how to find a way back home. So, when they reached the river, they met a giant swan, and the giant swan took them home. When the kids came back home, their dad was very happy and surprised at the same time, because the kids broke some of the treasure from the witch's house. And with tears of joyful, he explained to them that their stepmother had gone back to her parents, and their family problems that they ever had went away, and finally they lived happily ever after. So, do you guys get the morals of the story? Alright, I'm gonna tell you the morals of the story. So, first, don't judge the book by the cover. Second, never trust the stranger that you met just for 3 minutes for. Third, be wise and don't get panicked if you get into some of trouble. Fourth, build a great relationship with your family members. Okay, I guess that's it. Well, yeah, so by the way guys, I love to tell people some of my childhood bedtime story. So I hope there will be any chance for me to tell you more. Well, yeah, I hope you all enjoying the story, and thanks for your time. So, see you soon guys. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.